You will be understanding the different types of errors that we have and what is errors. Before I go to these types of exceptions, I will also discuss types of errors. The first one that I have is compile time error, and the next one that I have is runtime error. Exception is a condition which is generated with the help of runtime error. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the very interesting part in Java, that is managing errors and exceptions. So guys, this is going to be a new chapter for all of you in the Unit 3. Yes, this is the first session in fact in this chapter. What is that I will be learning in this chapter, sir? If you ask me, you will be understanding the different types of errors that we have and what is errors. Along with that, a new word which you are going to learn, that is exceptions. So how do we handle this exceptions is what you will be learning in this chapter. Yes, guys, without wasting much of your time, let's get into the session. What is that I have for all of you in this session? So quickly, let me just go through. So I will be discussing some of the introduction, basic introduction with respect to the errors, followed by I will be discussing the types of exceptions. Along with that, before I go to these types of exceptions, I will also discuss types of errors. So guys, let's get into the session. What exactly I have. So guys, I have types of errors. Before that, let's understand what is errors. Sir, we know about errors. We are famous in creating the errors. You don't have to speak about it, is what you will say. Yes, of course. I know that you all know what exactly errors. Errors are the mistakes that we create. All right. So when it comes to the errors, we have two different types of errors. Basically, that is what we need to understand here. Yes. What exactly that? The first one that I have is compile time error, and the next one that I have is runtime error. That's what you need to understand. Sir, what exactly this compile time error and the runtime error? Yes, let's discuss this in detail before I go to the concept of exceptions. So fine. So what exactly compile time error is all about? Compile time error is nothing but the syntax error that we create whenever we are typing the program. So that's what you need to remember. Sir, what exactly you mean to say that syntax error then? Guys, the grammar of a programming language is what I will call it as a syntax. If you are making a mistake in the syntax, then I will call that as a compile time error. That's what you need to remember. Say for example, we all are going to Mysuru. So this is my statement. So suppose if I say this, we is going to Mysuru. So is it a meaningful sentence according to the grammar? No, it is not. So that's what you need to understand. So that's a grammar in this English. The same way when it comes to the programming language, please remember if I do any mistake with the syntax, that I will be calling it as a compile time error. What happens with the compile time error? So it will not create the .class file if at all a program has got the compilation time error. So compilation time error in the sense, if at all I have the syntax error, I will not be able to generate the .class file, is what you need to remember. Sir, when do I get this compilation time error and what are the different types of compilation type error that I have? So please remember, I have listed out some of the compilation time errors here in my slide. So what is the first one that I have? Semicolon missing. This is a favorite mistake that we always do in our program. All right. So that's our first thing that you need to remember. And the next one is missing the brackets. So we open it, but we don't close it. What is that, sir? Of course, it's a bracket. So don't think any double meaning things. The next one is misplacing the spellings, or you are using the wrong spellings for the identifier. Suppose if at all you have declared any identifiers, so you are using it wrongly. So you are making a mistake in the spellings is what the syntax error. You can call it as a compilation error. That's one of the types. And the next one that we have, use of undeclared variables. You have not declared at all, but you're trying to use it. So that's going to be one more compilation time error. And the last one that I have is bad reference of objects. So you all know that Java is pure object-oriented programming language. So it consists of completely classes and objects. When I'm dealing with object, if I am having a bad reference. So that's going to be an compilation time error. That's what you need to remember with respect to the compilation time error. So to conclude this topic, you need to remember, if at all you have any syntax error, so that's going to be a compilation time error. All right. So why are we having this, sir? Because the computer should understand first what exactly you're trying to say. If the grammar is not correct, the computer will not understand then what you're trying to say. Then only the concept of executing the program. First of all, it should understand what is that you're trying to say. So that's the first stage that we need to take care. So fine. So we understood the compilation time error. My program is correct according to the syntax. Then I have to execute the program, right? So at that particular time, so I will come across with a lot of different types of errors. So I will call that as a runtime error, or I will also call it as a logical error. So I will be making a lot of, if at all, if you check the syntax, it's correct. But if you check the logic is not correct. Okay. So that type of errors, I will call it as a runtime error. So it will create .class file, but it fails to execute. So when you have the runtime error. So then what are the different types of runtime error that I have? So please make a note of it. I have listed out one by one. So the first of all, divided by zero error. Divided by zero error. Can I write like this? A divided by B. So C is equal to A divided by B. Yes, sir, you can write. Is there any syntax mistake? No, there is no syntax mistake. But suppose if A value is 1 and B value is 0, so that's what you need to think now. Can I do it? 1 divided by 0? So this leads to a logical error. This leads to a logical error. I cannot divide any number by 0. So that's a point that you need to remember. But if you write like this, there is no mistake. I can write like this. But when it comes to B is equal to 0, I need to think. So that leads to a runtime error, that is divided by 0 error. In the same way, I have the next one, accessing an element that is out of the bound of any array. Imagine I have a beautiful array. Okay, so imagine like this. So what is this? Sir, beautiful array. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. So whatever the elements that you have in this array, you're trying to access within this. But I'm trying to access something which is out of the bound. So that's going to be a runtime error again. What is the third one that I have? Trying to illegally change the state of the thread. So you all know that in the previous chapter, we have discussed different states of threads. Yes, how many states we have? We have 5 different states. So can you all recollect what is the 5 different states that we have? Yes, we have newborn state, we have runnable state, we have running state, we have block state and the dead state. So I cannot forcefully change the state of the thread. So if I do so, guys, I will be end up with this runtime error. That's what you need to remember. Moving forward to the next runtime error, attempting to use the negative size of an array. Sir, it's very simple. If I ask you what is your size, if you say me, sir, minus 10 kg. What? Minus 10 kg, how it is possible? In the same way, if I ask the size of the array, can I allocate the minus size, negative size? No, it is not possible. So that's going to be a runtime error. Moving forward to the last one, converting an invalid string to a number. Is it possible? So that's not possible at all. So guys, I cannot convert my string to an invalid number. That's going to be an error. All right, it's going to be a runtime error. So this is the different types of compile time errors and the runtime errors. So fine. So hope you got the clear idea about the different types of errors that we have. The next topic that I have is exceptions. Exception is a condition that you will get when you are getting the runtime error, which is caused by runtime errors, is what I would like to tell you at this point of time. I repeat my statement to all of you once again. Listen to me carefully. Exception is a condition which is generated with the help of runtime error. So I would like to say with the help of runtime error, because if I don't have any runtime error, then obviously I would have not come across with the beautiful concept today. That is exception. So guys, that's what you need to remember. So now, how do I handle this exception? The first step that I need to do is, I need to hit the exception. So hit the exception in the sense, what is the problem? I need to find out the problem first. So what exactly the problem is? Then after that, I need to throw the exception, inform that error has occurred. I need to understand, I need to throw what exactly the exception is occurring. What is the different type of exceptions are occurring in my program? So I need to throw that. Then after that, so please understand, I need to receive the error information. Yes, I'm throwing it from the code part. So I need to catch it. So after that, I need to handle the exception. I need to solve it. That's the steps that I have to handle the exceptions, is what I would like to tell you at this point of time. So guys, this is the 4 different steps. What is that? I need to find out what is the exception, then I need to throw it, then I need to catch it, then I need to handle it. That's a simple points that you need to remember with respect to the exceptions. So fine. So what is the important exceptions that I have? With respect to the exam point of view, this is going to be very, very important questions to all of you from this chapter. So please make a note of the exceptions that we have. So guys, the first exception that I have is arithmetic exception. So why do we have this exception? So it is caused by math errors such as divided by 0. So this is one of the exception type that we have. So fine. So what is the next one that we have? Array index out of bound exception. So array index out of bounds exception. What is the meaning of it? Which is caused by bad array indexes. If I have given the index of the array, incorrect, then I will get this exception. That's what you need to remember. The next one that I have, array store exception. So when do I get this? So please remember, it is caused when the program tries to store wrong type of data in the array. I have created the array of integer type, but I'm trying to store the character type. So at that point of time, I will be getting this exception. So that's what you need to remember. So find file not found exception. You're trying to search a file which is not there at that point of time. So you will get this exception. That's what you need to remember here. Moving forward to the next exception, IO exception, input output exception. So guys, this is caused by generally input output failures such as inability to read from a file, read or write. That's what you need to remember. Say for example, I need to read the data from the file, but I'm not able to read it, not able to write it. So that time of point, so I will be getting this exception is what you need to remember. Moving forward, null pointer exception. When do I get this null pointer exception? So please remember and understand. So guys, it is caused by referring a null object. So pointer, whenever I say pointer, please remember pointer is a variable which holds the address of another variable. So when I am pointing the null object, I will be getting this exception is what you need to remember. Moving forward, number format exception. So guys, when do I get this number format exception? So caused when the conversion between string and number fails. Yes, when I'm trying to convert the string. So string in the sense you all know that, which is enclosed between the quotes. So let me write a beautiful name. Oh my God, Kaushik. So this, can I call this as a string? Yes. I'm trying to convert the string into number. So guys, when I'm doing this, I might end up with the failure. At that point of time, I will be getting an exception. That's what you need to call it as a number format exception. So moving forward to the next one, out of memory exception. So caused when there is no enough memory to allocate. So you're asking me to give you the treat, but I don't have money. So that point of time, you will get money exception, right? So the same way, memory exception. So moving forward, security exception. What is the security exception? So guys, caused when an applet tries to perform an action and not allowed by the browser to security testing. So guys, you will try to download some files, but the security of the browser is blocking to download some files. So applets in the sense, what small program which is running, okay, in your browser. So probably you would have seen the calculator. That's what we call it as an applet. All right, so that's what you need to remember here. Stack overflow exception. Caused when the system runs out of the stack space. Hope all of you have seen the stack. So guys, this is what I will call it as a stack. All right, so stack out of flow exception. So I don't have space in the stack, but I want to store some elements in the stack. So at that time, I will get this exception. So last but not the least, string index out of bond exception. When do I get this? So cost when a program attempts to access non-existing character position in a string. I'm trying to access a string which is not there. So that's what you need to remember about this exception. You need to understand each one of the exceptions very carefully and very, very in detailed manner. This will help you a lot to understand the next concepts. So guys, with this, I have given you the different types of exceptions that we handle in Java. So in my next class, I will be discussing how do we handle this exception with the try and catch block, and how do we handle with multiple catches, and what is finally. So all these topics I will be covering in my next session. So please don't forget to watch the next session about managing errors and exceptions. Till then, take care of your health and bye-bye.